You're watching Suck Professor. Hello everybody, it's me Hank. I'm joined by
James.
James, the twin James. Except there's only one of them. What's going on? Hello everybody, welcome to our shot-by-shot, detailed breakdown analysis. Kind of think of this as a podcast, as a discussion. James, quit being so fucking popular with your text messages. It's obnoxious. Rubbing it in my face.
This is work problems.
Work problems. Get out of here. All right, so here we go. Part 6. Big spoilers, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's more like a podcast, kind of a discussion. We tend to go long, we tend to ramble. I tend to say inappropriate, stupid things that have nothing to do with what we're talking about. So if that's not your thing, you might want to go find your thing.
Yeah, and a small disclaimer, usually I watch these and then we record the day after when I have a lot of notes. It's been 2 days now and I don't have notes. So if I suck, then I apologize in advance, but I'm going to try hard.
You have violated the guild rules. So yes, also another disclaimer, I've watched this show once and a half. The first time yesterday, I fell asleep and I had my finger on the print screen button and it fucked up the whole thing.
But to be fair, you have, what is that, necrophilia?
I have necrophilia.
Yeah.
Yes, I
So
am.
that's why you fall asleep.
When I watch Twin Peaks, I fuck
And
dead
bang
bodies.
dead people.
Way to ruin my... You stepped on my bit. I bang dead people.
Yes.
Yes, James. I have sex with corpses. All right?
And you also have narcolepsy.
But I'm moral about it. Yeah, I fall asleep while having sex with corpses. I have narco-necrolepsy.
Nice.
And then I have a seizure. All right, well, enough of the yipper-yappering. James, we got to get to this. People didn't come to YouTube to listen to a couple of jamokes talk about bullshit. They came here to talk about Twin Peaks.
I was about to say our view count proves that right.
We're very popular here. Quit getting work texts, James. James is actually a very competent man. No wonder they rely on your judgment and wisdom.
That will be their downfall.
That will be the, look at you. All right, off we go. Opening shot there. There's the Laura Palmer eyes, the famous opacity fade thing with 20% opacity, whatever. Twin Peaks. Oh, here we go. All right, everybody's seen the beginning. I almost called them flames. Curtains, directed by David Lynch, and we open on David Bowie.
Yeah, well, Hugo Weaving is the statue. No, it's not.
Oh, come on.
So I mistakenly thought that this was a statue of David Bowie in the prior episode, but alternate angles and corrections from the internet and from the great comments below has proven that this is not intended to be a likeness of David Bowie. This is actually David Lynch's father.
Father, Mr.
Right.
Lynch.
So it was a reference to somebody, it just wasn't Bowie.
Let's name him David. He's gonna make fucked up TV shows and movies someday.
So
that's my impression of his dad.
The father sounds exactly like him.
And let me do his mom. Yes, David will be my son who just came out of my worn-out vagina. That's my impression of his mom.
Nice.
And by the way, vaginas get worn out for like about 20 minutes after pregnancy, after birth, and then they go back. They're like rubber bands. They go back to being fine after a little while. Maybe more than 20 minutes, but they're a little beat up. It's tough. I hurt one time. I opened up my pants and I found like a piece of wood in the tip of my dick. What the fuck? It was small. I pulled it out. All right.
Things I have no responses for.
It wasn't like stuck. It was just touching. I was like, what? You know.
Happens to.
Hey, we live in a world with tiny pieces of wood. Okay. Speaking of dicks. All right. So barely getting anywhere. Okay. So it's not his. It's his father, David Lynch, not
Okay,
Sam Neill.
yeah.
All right. So the guy stuck. Dougie?
Last time we saw Dougie.
Yep.
Well, okay. To be fair, this is not Dougie. This is Cooper in the shoes of Dougie, quite literally.
But he's inhabiting Dougie's life right now.
Yes. Right. And do you think there's another like copy of you somewhere called Hanky?
Hanky? Yes. Yes.
That would imply that Cooper's name is
He's
Doug
got
Rosen.
hair and a great life, and he's probably doing great.
Yeah.
He has all of the Lord of the Rings DVDs, unlike me.
But anyway, the last time we saw this character, Cooper, he was standing in front of the statue, kind of eyeing the shoes of the statue, and we
fingering the shoes.
Yeah, we had this whole kind of theory discussion about the significance of the shoes in the last episode, and that's going to kind of leak over into this episode a little bit as well.
Okay.
But he's been standing there all night, despite the cop coming by saying no loitering, no loitering. He's still clinging to the case files, and now he's kind of playing with his jacket with his hand pulled up into the sleeve. He's behaving very erratically, almost like a child, which is what he's been like since he came out of the lodge.
Yeah, he's a half-wit who's lost in a world he doesn't belong in.
Yeah.
Right.
He's slowly trying to regain what makes him Cooper.
He's really struggling to make sense of his reality. Luckily, he's not stressed out. Like when he's mostly just there for the ride. Like if a guy like him was starting to like go like, oh God, what do I do? Oh no, you know, like the thing about people who are a little different, if they're stressed out, we all get stressed out.
Yeah,
but if they're cool, hey man, let's all just have some Cokes and chill.
And the worst place to be in any situation where you're trying to gain footing and gain ground in reality and understand what's happening is to be in a David Lynch production.
Yeah.
So he's got everything working against him.
Yeah, he's the main character in a David Lynch show. He's not going to find reality anytime soon. All right, so anyway, this guy comes up and he's like, hey, you can't go here. And eventually he's like, all right, what's up with you, buddy? You hurt? You sick? You take some medicine? Yeah. Are you fucked up? Are you on drugs? And I like that he keeps reaching out for the badge.
Right, because this is another thing. Case files, agent, badge, all these things relate back to the FBI, which is at the very core of his being is what he remembers, is what he identifies with. So he's reaching out and connecting with those things.
Yep, the same thing I do around egg rolls. Manzella, Red Door. So he tells him where he lives.
Yeah, so he's kind of mimicking what he's heard in the past, what he's learned in his limited capacity.
And compared to where he started, this is fucking Einstein all of a sudden. He can actually remember words that weren't the last two words.
The dog that first learned his name.
Yeah. Wait, what? The first dog to learn his name.
No, a dog when it first learns its name.
Oh, yeah.
And responds to it.
One time I heard a dog, and some lady was speaking French to it, and the dog fucking understood it.
Stupid poodles.
Can't believe it.
Only poodles can do that.
Yes, well, that's because they're expensive. All right, so he takes him in. He's like, all right, come with me. I was kind of hoping he'd take out his batons to start beating on him, like cops do now.
Yeah, that'd be great. Beating on a potentially mentally disabled man who needs help. No, this cop is actually a really endearing character.
He's a nice cop, yeah.
Yeah, very nice cop.
Well, of course, and most of them are. Honestly, most of us go, all right. At least he's giving something to do. Being a security night cop is really boring. Until you got to take a bullet for some stupid fucking drunk people.
So the thing to understand is that
Red Door.
Dougie, I'm calling him Dougie because he's the character who is believed to be Dougie, but he's really Cooper. So I'll just call him. Well, you know who he is.
Doug Coop.
But anyway, he was taken to work that day by his wife, Janie E., because he didn't have a car. And she doesn't know where his car is. He doesn't seem to know where his car is. It's back in Rancho Rosa with where Jade the prostitute was. It's actually been blown up by now. So.
Yeah, the car's now smithereens.
Yeah, but Janie E. apparently didn't keep it in her mind that she drove him to work and that he can't get home by himself, so she doesn't come to pick him up.
Plus, he's a full-grown man. He should be able to call a cab or something. Yeah. Or have a friend or get an Uber. Okay. I don't know if they have Uber in David Lynch world. Maybe it doesn't seem like it. So doorbell, kid's sleeping. Dougie, and luckily for the cop, he's like, oh, thank God this is the right house. He goes, yeah, we only knew because of the door. And she's like, what the fuck? She's all angry at him. And finally, this is actually finally a rational sentence in this show. Like, this is what everybody should be saying about him the entire time. Since he woke up out of his corn barf or whatever.
Carmen Bozia. Carmen
Bozia. All right, so he only knew the house with the car door. All right, so she takes him in, you know. All right,
he motions for the badge.
This is the final reach for the badge. That's fine. He goes, badges? You don't need no. Okay.
We don't need no stinking badges.
Great scene.
Blazing Saddles, right?
That's Badgers.
Yes.
Am I right? Badgers?
No.
Isn't there? Oh, that's Weird Al. That's UHF. Yeah. He's got this thing for my badge. I don't know. They go, well, he's turned on by strippers. Aren't you a stripper? No, he's not. All right. So she takes him in. Oh, I forgot about the car. Shit. So sorry. And then, of course, you know, they have a sandwich. He goes, I'll make you a sandwich. And I thought it was, I don't know why this has nothing to do with anything, but he was way done. He just pounded it. I bet she made his sandwich, gave it to him. Then she started on her own sandwich. She didn't do 2 sandwiches, 2 plates. She did your sandwich. Now I make my sandwich.
I think that's giving her a little bit too much credit. I don't see a lot of love in this relationship.
What? That doesn't. I'm not what I'm suggesting means love. I just think she fed him first. I'm not saying that is how it's supposed to be. Whatever. I don't know.
She's great in this role. She's really entertaining. But it seems like she is more irritated by his presence than enamored by it.
I couldn't be more turned on by this woman. I love powerful, strong women with opinions, and they're not afraid to say them. It gets me aroused.
No, she's a good character, but not the kind of person I would want to live with.
Yes, well, no, but to be fair to her, she's living with a degenerate, whore fucking gambler who's turned into a IQ of 2.
That's really mean to say about Sonny Jim.
Sonny Jim loves to fuck whores.
Well, I mean,
he's been betting on fidget spinners at the grade school playground. No, I know, but she should be rough on him. He's a degenerate gambling loser.
No, she should
hey, asshole.
She should clearly see that he has problems. He needs a doctor, and I'm glad in this episode she finally acknowledges that, saying, I need to get you to a doctor.
Which they should have done right away. I mean, if I had a friend suddenly acting like this for the first moment, I'd be like, Tom Cruise, or have you been not praying enough to the Scientology? That shit is so fucking crazy, man. All right, Tomorrow lunchtime, taking to see Dr. Ben. And
She means Dr. Ben Carson, the neurologist.
yeah, he's
Gonna
gonna
teach her about grain and pyramids.
Yep, great. Dr. Carson, he's gonna chop his head open, and then Dr. Carson keeps sponges in his own brain. That's why he's so fucking stupid. He's gonna put some in Dougie's head, and it'll make him feel better. What are these? Oh, mouth
Case files.
case files. I like that. He's like work. I gotta work. Case file. So she's like, okay. Then there's this other envelope, which is information from their criminals that they're
yeah, we're gonna
ne'er
find.
do well.
She's gonna open it when he goes upstairs.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna see exactly what her reaction is in a moment, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
He walks right by the stairs.
And
as
he
though
has a
doesn't-
cute walk. He's got that like kind of like I'm lost walk, but I
Yeah.
also haven't not used to. Okay, so upstairs, idiot. So he takes a bite of a chip, and he manages to make him his way upstairs. He walks right by Dougie's room.
Yeah,
I didn't miss that
that
shot.
no, by Sonny Jim's room.
Oh yeah, sorry, Sonny.
And then he goes into the bathroom and starts clinking toiletries together, which
Toiletry
is
clinks.
hilarious. He's just in the bathroom playing.
Yeah, he's had some fun times. He was peeing, how much he moaned, and then he walks by and he goes, "Oh my God, there's a boy in here. I better go say hi to him." This is a funny shot. I don't know. Like, what if that's how he stands while the kid sleeps all night
Yeah,
long?
that's a little.
I mean, he stopped and looked. It's just a weird screenshot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he like.
But it's almost like they're both children in this scene. They're both, relating to one another.
Yeah, the kid doesn't look at him with judgment. He looks at him with like kind of
And it's the
patient
kid,
respect.
Yeah, and it's the kid who's sort of like the father figure here because the kid is directing him on what to do. He pats the bed, sit down, all that kind of thing. He's reading like a Hardy Boys book.
He invites him over, and then he offers him a chip. I like that that's a very responsible answer to
This is
a chip.
an important line to me though, because I have this vague recollection, and hopefully someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but my whole leading theory up to this point has been that the boy, Sonny Jim, is inhabited by the spirit of the giant, and I assume the giant comes from the White Lodge. He's a benevolent, light, glowing being that has always guided and given aid to Cooper throughout his time in Twin Peaks.
Kind of like how I am to you.
Exactly, yeah. But, if I recall correctly, when Dale Cooper is inhabited by the spirit of Bob, the doppelganger emerges out of the lodge, and the doppelganger and Bob are riding in the same doppelganger suit. So Cooper is still back in the lodge, of course, but
yeah, of course.
When he emerges, I think he says something to the cops in the room, saying something like, "I haven't brushed my teeth yet," and that's why he goes into the bathroom.
Oh.
So the epitome of evil says, "I haven't brushed my teeth yet," and now we have who I assume to be the epitome of good saying, "I already brushed my teeth." A complete reversal 180, showing.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering that line correctly, I may not be, but had I researched this and had my notes, I would be better off. But
Sure.
Stab in the dark.
You might be onto something. We never know what's going on.
Or I could be completely out of my mind.
That beautiful coiffured head of David Lynch.
Yes.
I bet he's got brushed my teeth written on lipstick on his bathroom mirror. I bet he's got two bathrooms. That guy's got to have at least two bathrooms.
A white bathroom and a black bathroom. And I say that as like white lodge, black lodge, not segregation, racist crap. It's not at all what I mean.
Nobody thinks that's what you meant. But David Lynch does have four colored only fountains.
Yes, and he's got a red one too. And then he has a waiting room in between them.
With the red one's for the red woman from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That's how that. Yeah. No. Anyway, all right, whatever. I could say more bullshit, but okay. Can we leave my cowboy light on? I don't know what he's on. But the chip, he just puts it on the blanket, dude.
Yeah.
It's got grease, man. I'm real weird about grease stains. I just like they're harder to get out than other stains. You know what I mean? So they're a pain in the ass. Good tip, housekeeping tip for all the kids at home, college students, teens. Grease. Use a little chalk. Or some talcum powder. Rub it in, get it in there. Use your thumb, push it in. It's absorbent. It soaks up the grease. Then you wash it like regular laundry.
And then all you have is a chalk stain.
Then you have a chalk stain.
Yeah.
Yep. Or just dip your entire shirt in grease and just recolor it. Okay, so there you go. All right, so they have a nice little moment. Electricity humming.
So again, electricity
the clap thing.
Yeah, electricity is a very important aspect of the David Lynch world about the lodge and Twin Peaks. And the fact that it showed electricity humming when he was clapping and turned the light on and off, that seemed to greatly amuse Cooper. Now, whether or not it was just the electricity that was doing it to him, or the fact that he was amused by the fact that he could clap his hands and turn the light on and off, I think that's probably more of it.
Yeah, like me, man. If I had a clapper, that'd be my entertainment. I'd stay home on a Friday night. I mean, let's be honest, I do stay home on Friday
But it does
night.
show them kind of having like a sort of like a child-to-child interaction here.
Yeah, well, it's a fun little. They start playing the game. He turns it off. You do one now.
I've got a beer in my hand.
James, you turned me on. Ooh, yay. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna need new pants. You're so good at that, James. Yes. All right, so up the stairs. So she tells him to come downstairs. So she found something.
And she's got a very confrontational tone.
Yes, she just manhandles him and throws him into his seat. Look at that. That's a good shot, huh? That looks pretty fun. Yeah. You're in the doghouse, mister. And look, this shows up. Do you have an explanation? So she's looking. They've got a photo of old Dougie with Jade.
Now, are they in front of the Rancho Rosa compound?
I believe that's the house where they were humping.
Okay, so
but I could be wrong.
That makes me wonder about something that I'll bring up a little bit later, as to the true identity of the people who are extorting Dougie and his family for money.
Okay.
Because that's what this is.
But did we ever see them with a camera? I mean, I don't recall. Maybe.
No, because I think it's a red herring that Jean and Lorraine are responsible for the $50,000 that's owed. I think that's completely disconnected. I don't think it has anything to do with the attempt to kill him, with the guys who blew up in the car. I think it's completely a sidetrack.
But they're real.
Yes, they're real.
They're separate goons,
yes,
is what you're saying.
But I don't think that they are the ones that are pivotal in the narrative.
One of the group of goons is is related to Philip Jeffries and the global thing going on. And another one is the localized Vegas subset of, not even subset, separate set of goons.
And I think the other guys were just like your run-of-the-mill car thieves. I mean, that's at least what I think.
Oh, okay, that could be it.
But I think that this group right here was initially introduced to make us think that Lorraine and Jean were simply after him for money. But then,
who are Lorraine and Jean?
Jean is the guy who's been staking out Dougie's car at Rancho Rosa, and Lorraine is the woman who has the old school hip hop music playing. When remember he said she's a warrior because she was like, "If it wasn't done yesterday, you're trying to get me killed."
Oh yeah, the lady on the phone, the BlackBerry, the one who texted Argentina.
Yeah, which is also really interesting because remember in I think it was the part 1 or part 2, we see a very kind of out of place scene where there's an office and there's a man sitting there and he calls an assistant in, and the assistant has money. And he says something like, "She got the job, give it to her." And he goes, "What? Let me ask you a question. Why do you do this? Why do you let him tell you what to do or something?" And he simply says to the kid, "Pray that you never have someone like him in your life."
Oh yeah.
So this is apparently the man that is being controlled by Philip Jeffries to hire the people to carry out the whim of Philip Jeffries. Lorraine was the woman that he was talking about there, but we didn't know who Lorraine was at the time.
Okay. All right. I think I understand what you're talking about, but should we keep going?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
No, let's stop here.
Yeah, Jade gave... Oh, this is the old joke of the two. She gave him a ride home.
I
and
bet she did.
Had another ride. Both of those are my favorite kind of rides because one of them gets you burgers and another one gets you orgasms, which is like a burger. I'll bet she did, didn't she? Oh, so she's finding out that he's cheating on her, that he's a gambling guy. Maybe she knew about this before or not, or I don't know.
I would suspect that she would have suspicions.
It's probably hard to hide all that too much if he's that active about it. And oh my god, and he does have a little bit of a memory though. He's like,
he's happy about it because that's his friend.
Yeah, I'm happy when I think about Jade.
Cooper never had relations with Jade. Dougie did, but Cooper didn't. So Cooper has no real nefarious reason to be smiling about that.
Sure, but he's got well, yeah, you're right. That's yeah. Why would he have Dougie's memories? That's right. So anyway, he looks at his hand there. Who is this? She's on the phone now.
Now, that's interesting when he said he looked at his hand.
Uh-huh.
Because he's looking at his hand there, and then he's playing with his hand in his jacket earlier.
Yeah.
And then later on, we're going to hear another character say, "Have you ever studied your hand?"
Right. Yep.
Connected? I don't know.
Talk to the hand. All right. Yes, I did. Okay, so the dialogue here, though, we don't have every single bit of dialogue in the closed caption, just so people know. But so who's she talking to? She's talking to the robbers, or the ransomer. What are they? What would you call them? The goons is a...
Yeah, the loan shark goons, or whatever you want to call them.
50,000. What if he doesn't have it? So she's kind of taking over this whole operation, though.
Yes, but she's hardballing because she knows they have the money.
Yeah.
But she's not really wanting to give it up.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be real smart for Mr. Don't you dare go to his office. I'll talk to you myself in the park at Guinevere and Merlin.
Which we know, King Arthur references, we know he lived at Merlin Court,
yep.
Red Door, all that kind of stuff. So the Guinevere just kind of goes even further down that track.
Yep, she was one of the King Arthur's characters.
Yeah,
right?
I wonder if she meet him at Mordred Diner.
Mordred, yeah.
Or Excalibur Exchange.
Or possibly Merlin. Oh wait, that's already on there. Damn it, fuck. All right, I'll be the one carrying the red purse. Great, I like it. She's good at this cloak and dagger shit. She's just like she was built for it.
It was like she's done it before.
Maybe she's
had to clean up a lot of messes for Dougie in the past.
Yeah, it could be. So she's pissed off Dougie. I mean, I don't blame her. I get, yeah.
And this was kind of funny though because she was like, "Oh, now you ruined everything for me. I was supposed to take you to Dr. Ben at 12:30 during your lunch hour."
Yeah.
But she was the one who just made the appointment with other guys for noon. She could have made it any other time. She was the one who created the scheduling conflict for herself.
All right. Yeah, you're right. But getting the murderous goons off your back is more important than getting your half-wit husband to the doctor.
She doesn't seem to think it's all that big a deal. It's just like an everyday task for her.
Well, this is a tense situation. Both of these. You take someone to the doctor. I took you to the doctor, and a fucking lady sat next to me, even though there was other chairs available.
I remember that.
I can't believe how horrible that was for me.
Yeah.
What is she thinking?
That's when I burned my eyes out.
James had an eye. James scratched his eye, so he had to wear one of those lampshades on his head for.
No, I put contact lens fluid in my eyes that was not contact lens fluid. It was an acid.
What?
It hadn't neutralized yet. So
wait, you used the wrong jar, the wrong container,
no,
or you used an expired container?
Basically, the container that you use for clear care contact lens has a disc in the bottom that neutralizes the acid overnight. That is used to clean the lenses. The case I used had gotten so old that it was no longer neutralizing the acid all the way. So when I put my contacts in that morning, I was effectively putting contacts doused in acid into my eyes.
I had no idea there was a whole process to that shit.
It hurt quite a bit.
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare.
I went completely blind, but
yeah,
more to the point.
Well, I'm glad your eyesight. I was really worried when you were like, I can't see. And I was like, oh, that's fucking horrible.
It was literally like all I could see was milky white.
Well, that's because I had my shirt off.
Okay.
All right, so what happened to your...
Hold on. So what happened to your wallet and your identification?
Yeah, so she's just giving him the business about his being this goofball that, last thing he needs, you losing your child. You got to go to work. Tomorrow's a big day. Still gives him a kiss, though. Smooch. And looks up, and then he sees the Lucky Seven. So this looks familiar to him, or do you think there's some more going on here that he's identifying? I think it's just the transition to remind us where he's going.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was looking at that as though he had the realization that he still had to work on the case files that night.
Yeah.
Or it kind of reminded me of the Ace of Spades in that card that Evil Cooper was showing what he wanted to get to. You know, the solid black circle with the bunny ears coming off of it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's really a stretch.
Yeah.
But,
idea.
I was thinking about those kind of things, but I don't think that really has anything to do with it.
Yeah, I beats the fuck out of me.
And this is another classic shot from the original Twin Peaks that we've seen now for the first time.
Well, it was a green one. I missed it. But we got yellow and then red.
Yep.
So this is classic, huh?
Yeah, classic.
Grading music. That's also classic. And then the man with one arm. This is Mike.
Mike.
See,
yes.
I know my shit. So
the one-armed man.
The one-armed man. He's
Gerard.
Isn't he inhabited by somebody?
Well, Mike is the spirit that inhabits the body of Philip Gerard, who's the shoe salesman.
Fair enough.
Technically, this is Mike.
Wait, a one-armed shoe salesman?
Yeah.
That's outrageous. You can't do that. You need two arms. How do you get the heel? You got to hold the heel, and you got to put the toe. You got to poke the toes. You got to use the shoe horn.
He used to have two arms.
You got to slowly move your hands up the person's calf
He
muscle?
had the Fire Walk With Me tattoo on his arm that he believed was the part of him that was being inhabited by evil, and he wanted to relinquish his lifestyle and find religion, in a sense, by leaving behind his life with Bob. So he cut off his arm that had the tattoo on it and reemerged his new life as Mike.
It's a little bit...
And the arm...
There's other ways of removing tattoos.
Well, then his arm, symbolically and physically in the lodge, became the man from another place.
Oh.
Michael J. Anderson.
Okay.
Who is the little guy who is also technically also Mike, who got in a squabble in real life with David Lynch and is now a tree.
Now he's a tree with a coconut.
Yes.
On its head, or no, a melted cantaloupe.
Which fits in really well because at the end of the last season, he said, "The next time you see me, I won't be me."
Well, perfect.
So it worked out pretty well.
That's how all dialogue should end. All right, so he's reaching around, feeling around the air, and he kind of like I think he's just tapping in, and then Cooper Dougie.
We know from a previous episode though that Cooper has the ability to see Mike in the lodge based on his connection with Mike.
Yes,
and, not with Mike, but his connection with the lodge.
We know that, yeah. So now here's their connection. He gives him another little bit of info. He says to something. Wait, you need to wake up. You have to wake up, don't lie. Yeah. What if he just asked for a chip? I'd like a chip.
Extra salsa. No, but he says he don't die because remember the last time he talked to Cooper directly in that same fashion, he was saying, he literally said, "You were tricked. One of you must die."
Oh yeah.
So now he's saying, but if one of you must die, make sure it's not you who dies.
Yeah, you guys.
Because that means they're trapped in that world with evil Coop.
Right.
So.
Okay, so this is good Coop, but he just has to come out of his chrysalis.
Can we start calling Sonny Jim Mini Coop?
Mini Coop, yes. Mini Cooper, yeah.
Okay.
Mini Driver, yes. Minnie the Winnie from the show
Wonder Years,
who I had a crush on until I saw the movie with Howie Mandel about video games. Because fuck that.
The Wizard?
No, it's a great movie. No. Little Monsters.
Oh yeah. My favorite line
That's
from there was
video
I think he blows his nose or something.
Over shoulder bowler holder?
No, he like does something where he like wipes his nose on his sleeve and shows it to the kid and he goes, No, and he licks it or something. Goes, I thought it was good, but it's not.
But it's not.
like,
I did not see that coming. Get it,
Yeah.
Nazi? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so he opens up stuff and...
Okay.
All right.
So
these are insurance claims.
Yeah, he's looking at the claim files, the case files, and there's some important things here. First of all, this is a burglary claim file, claim form. And he's seeing these little pinpricks of light.
Right there.
And it's almost as though the light is guiding him on what to do.
Yes. So something was broken into here. Rear entrance was broken into. Reception. Okay, so someone broken... I'm just trying to see what this says here. Bounce point of... Entry. Okay, fine. All right, cool. So
he's putting the pencil exactly where the point of light is, just like when he was in the Silver Mustang Casino.
Yeah.
He was being led by these visual cues that the lodge was providing to
Yes.
him. Now you can see multiple other points of light.
Right. There they are. So he starts tracing, or not, I don't know about tracing, but maybe tracking.
Okay. Now, a very important piece of information right here. See the first point of light says Anthony Sinclair.
Yeah.
That is the agent that he accused of lying in the last meeting, Tom Sizemore.
Oh, okay.
So bear in mind that is Anthony Sinclair.
So maybe this will reveal that when he comes back with these case files, which we'll see later on, that's what he's doing, is exposing that guy. Maybe.
Yes.
The claim is being investigated and ensured that it's not fraud. All facts move. It's okay, fine. All right, but then he's just like scribbling and drawing lines. He seems to... I thought it was random, but it's related to the light then, right? Is that what we're learning?
I think the light is guiding him to do this, but there is an explanation for what he's doing here.
Okay.
And we don't know about it yet, but as the episode goes along, it'll become obvious what he's doing.
Well, it wasn't obvious to me. I have no idea. I mean, I think he's a pretty good artist, so I thought this ladder looks like... I'm like, oh my god, is that a real ladder? All right, so there he goes.
When we get there, I'll let you know.
Yeah, well, please, I'm sure. I hope you do. And okay, so he draws these like stair things, and he scribbles like kind of a messy doodle.
But essentially, the Anthony Sinclair character was saying in the past episode that he was informing his boss that he would have to pay out on an insurance claim that it was legit. And Dougie, aka Cooper, the real Cooper, said, "You're lying," or "He's lying," which means that the guy is probably trying to cash in on something that with a guy that he's in on it with. You know?
Right.
So now Dougie Cooper is essentially going to expose him.
Okay, anything important on this one here? Detective Loomis in Stockton? Are those people we know?
Loomis reminds me of Michael Myers' Halloween. Detective Loomis, but I doubt there's a connection there, so I'm going to decline to comment further.
Perfect. All right. And then he draws another ladder thing or whatever that is.
It's a ladder.
It is a ladder.
It's a ladder.
Okay, wow, look at that. And then stairs.
Not stairs.
The floor of the lodge or the waiting room, because it's got the zigzag lines or something. I don't know.
Rooftop.
Oh, rooftop. Is this like falling and dying? Is this like...
Okay, I'll spill the beans right now. This is the ladder leading up onto the top of the house of the crackhead woman with her son who screams 119, and that down there is the exploded car. His license plate is on the roof of their house, and we see a police officer climb up the ladder onto the roof to get the license plate, which is going to connect everything back to Cooper.
Okay. Okay, all right.
Makes sense now.
But why would he care if they find the license plate? Why would he give a shit at all?
He doesn't care. The lodge cares, because the lodge is going to effectively allow the cops to look at the license plate, to look to see who the car is registered to see the picture of Dougie, to say, holy crap, this guy looks exactly like Cooper. Maybe this really is Cooper. If this is Cooper, then the guy we have in custody can't be Cooper. Then Tammy's going to come in and say, no, this isn't Cooper, because I've been comparing the fingerprints, and they're not the same person. Their height's different, their weight's different. Everything is different about them, which means that the FBI is going to try and track down Dougie. They're going to get to Dougie. They're going to take him back to Twin Peaks. He's going to go back to the Great Northern Hotel. He's going to put his shoes on, and Agent Cooper's going to be back.
Okay, cool.
So that's kind of what I think that means.
James, if you were like a wizard, if you're like a wizard teacher, like a Harry Potter guy, I think he'd be good. James teaches the dark arts, or more like the Twin Peaks arts. I got nothing. The snark arts. All right. But like, because you're piecing together these long strings, and it's impressive. So all right, so they need the license plate to help the FBI figure out who this guy is.
Yep, and it all creates a trail back to Cooper.
And with the end result of him becoming the Cooper we know and love.
Yes, I would hope so.
Yeah, ending this idiot fest. Okay, so next thing, all right, he's talking to David Lynch on the phone here, or what, agent?
Agent. What's his name?
It's fuckface.
Cole.
Cole. I was gonna say Cole. I went with fuckface. And he's saying, "Let me write, and I will be thinking of you as I drink this." And then like a woman gives like, "Oh, thank you, sweetheart," and fine Bordeaux. I think that's just humor, right?
Yeah.
This is what David Lynch calls humor.
Well, he's doing that. He's basically sitting back and enjoying life while poor Albert is out in 34-degree freezing rain.
Yes, he goes, "Hey, driving in the 34 degrees."
And then he gives a great line as he gets out of the car.
Yes, which I do have. Fun, fuck Gene Kelly, you motherfucker.
Now, tell me if I'm completely wrong about this. Was Gene Kelly the one who did the whole "I'm singing in the rain" and dancing around in it as though it was a joyful thing?
It's
what
a
wonderful feeling! Yeah. I'm happy today.
I'm singing.
Yeah.
And dancing.
And Albert is not feeling the same way.
In the rain. It's a gorgeous scene. It's one of the best scenes in all cinema. As long as he's having a fun time, the cop comes by and the cop doesn't beat him up. It's beautiful. But by the way, the syntax here is wrong. Fuck Gene Kelly, you motherfucker. This sounds like he's talking about two different people. He's calling Gene Kelly a motherfucker, but he's not saying fuck you, Gene Kelly, you motherfucker. Fuck Gene Kelly would be like, hey James, fuck Ronald McDonald, you motherfucker. It means I'm calling you a motherfucker after I said fuck Ronald McDonald. I don't think that's what he's trying to say. I think he's trying to say anyway. All right,
old Oxford comma.
Good old Oxford comma.
I don't think it's.
I don't know.
I
call myself a writer, and I don't know how to use a fucking comma. I barely know how to use periods. Don't lick them.
Sentences change dramatically based on where the comma is.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay too. Now a bar here.
All right. So why is he going here? What scene in the past episode led him here?
All right. Well, I have all the answers to this, but let's get to the point. We have to see the other character first before we could talk about that. Correct. Sure. All right. So he's walking in. We see a lady. Somebody from behind. She's sleek. She's sexy. Her hair is organized. And he says her name, Diane. Oh, I thought I shot. So he calls her Diane. She turns around. And, oh my God, James, who is it? It's the woman who saw the brontosaurs. She stands up out of the Jeep and she goes, oh my God.
That is not Helen Hunt.
It's Laura Dern.
Is that from Jurassic Park?
Yes, Laura Dern. That was not Helen. Helen Hunt's not anywhere near.
I thought that was Helen Hunt.
You're thinking of Mad About You.
Everybody gets
this confused because Paul Reiser's a dinosaur.
Okay, but this is the scene that any true Twin Peaks fan would have their jaw hit the floor.
And that's why I had no idea. Hello, Albert.
Okay, there is a scene in a prior episode where they said, if Cooper's gonna, we need to have this guy that we have in custody, Evil Cooper, talk to a certain woman before we can tell whether he is who we think he is.
Okay.
And they say, do you know where she is? And they're like, no, we don't, but I know where she drinks.
All right.
And this is Diane.
All right.
In the original first two seasons, Agent Cooper carries around a handheld voice recorder, and he is constantly dictating into the voice recorder all of his case notes. And at the start of every single tape, he says, Diane. Diane is Agent Cooper's secretary, who until this moment we have never seen before.
Okay.
She was one of these like mythical, faceless people that you could assume maybe she exists, maybe she doesn't, maybe Cooper created her in his mind, maybe she's really out there. Who knows?
Hi, James.
Yeah, but we finally get to see her.
Do you want to take me home and take off my clothes?
Nope.
Do you want to take off my wig?
Nope.
Do you mind if I blow cigarette smoke on your belly button?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so that's cool. You explained a bunch of shit there.
Huge moment.
All right, great moment. I never would have picked up on that previous stuff, but all right, so he finds Diane. What do you think he's meeting her for? What's he up to?
Why is he looking for her?
Yeah.
Or because if there is anybody in the world that Cooper is going to recognize and know, the real Cooper is going to be Diane.
Oh, okay. All right.
And if anyone can snap him out of anything, it's going to be Diane.
All right.
So when he brings her to Evil Cooper, and Evil Cooper doesn't know who she is, they're going to be like, this is not our guy.
Yeah. James, did you hear they're going to be making a Skyrim for Nintendo Switch? You would imagine she's really into video games. All right.
She looks like she's from Skyrim. A bad character creator. She just hit randomize.
She does. Yeah, she has that. Yeah, you could totally, that thing with Bob. Okay, character creator. All right, fine. Logs. Well, the log lady, boy, if she came here, she'd probably get overwhelmed by all the voices. No! She just ripped her head off. Car, a Corvette, I think that's what that is, which is a poor man's Lamborghini. And the guy gets out, kind of a goon, another goon holding a big scary gun.
Is that like is that one of those fully automatic shotguns that are illegal to own?
Oh,
like
maybe.
an AT 2020? I know that's what a microphone is.
That's a microphone.
But it's something very similar to that.
Well, okay, I mean, this bullet container. Those things get the magazine, the big round ones. But that's a thing for multiple guns as far as I could remember. Not every gun, obviously. But no, I don't think that's a shotgun. But who whatever. All right,
so one thing that I missed in the prior episodes, this is the same jerk that grabbed and assaulted the girls in the bar in the last episode.
When we met him, he was a real rapey, gropey piece of shit.
They never said what his name was, but people in the comments have told me that the credits identified him as Richard Horn.
Dick Horn.
Yes.
Okay.
So that has significance because in the original series, we've already seen this character reemerge, but the owner of the Great Northern Hotel in Twin Peaks is Benjamin Horn, the wealthy businessman.
Oh, wow.
His daughter is Audrey Horn, who was sort of like the eye candy for the first 2 seasons, like the love interest, sort of the unreciprocated love interest to Dale Cooper during those. I think she actually dated him in real life during the film, but she was a younger character, so they can never really get together. But it's speculated that this is her son.
This is
Audrey Horn's son. So that's the theory.
The grandson of the owners of that lodge. All right. Yeah, I like it. Dick Horn. That's redundant. You can. So this guy, he does some coke though, right?
Well, okay, yeah. So the last time we saw him, he was taking money, and again, I called the guy the bouncer because I didn't recognize him, but that was Chad, the deputy from the sheriff's department.
Yes.
So this is
when he gave him the money in the cigarette pack. Yeah.
So this is very similar to what was going on in the prior seasons. Actually, in Fire Walk with Me, when we find out one of the deputies in one of the local branches of the sheriff department in that movie actually was running drugs behind the scenes. So now we know that Chad is in on the drug running business, and we know that this piece of crap person is not the head honcho. He's working for other people who have a lot more power and a lot more influence than him. One of which being this dude.
When you say this piece of crap person, you mean this guy.
That piece of crap person is working for that piece of crap person.
Yeah,
the Charlie Sheen wannabe.
They don't. I guess in a little bit of a way, he's Charlie Sheen if he got trained up for a marathon and didn't have. All right, I'm not gonna. Okay, he's doing these weird fist punchy.
Yeah, these like weird karate things. Like, have you ever studied your hand?
Yeah, and
which again, they kind of go back to the hand thing, in prior scenes. So I wonder if there's something to that, or
Well, the hand is one of the more interesting body parts. It's pretty devastating when you lose both. But I guess you get by it. Okay, so basically it comes down to this: is the guy, he's not being real cooperative, but the other guy just puts him in his place, basically, right?
Yeah. So he talks about something like bringing the sparkle down from Canada. Was it?
Yeah.
Sparkle being, I'm assuming, a reference to drugs.
Probably, yeah. Maybe, unless either that or they work for donut shops. And these sprinkles. Fucking sheriff here, 90. He's like saying it's easy to get into this town. It's these small towns.
Yeah.
Did you ever see The King and I? He's like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. What are you saying? I have no idea.
He's just kind of going. It's just extraneous dialogue that I didn't think there was a lot of purpose behind.
Character establishing stuff.
I'm sure there's a deeper meaning to it that I just didn't pick up on.
He calls him kid. That frustrates him.
Yeah, he does not like that.
Do you understand what I'm saying, kid? I call James. What would you? Hey, James, do you understand that? Adult?
Yes.
And I'm trying to get James to go into a rage. I really want to see you blow up, James, one day. I just want to see you lose your fucking shit, tear your shirt off, start punching walls, kick the door, right? But like it breaks and you start bleeding, but you're so angry you don't even notice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would break before the door does.
No, I wanted to see. I know there's a deep well of raging fuel inside you.
You would need to make a styrofoam door, and then you would need to score it in advance so that I could get through it safely.
I would enjoy watching you beat up a door. Yeah. All right, so then you can count on that. So he's kind of giving all his business, and then he does this whole hand trick with the coin.
Okay, and this, there's got to be some symbolism to this, because we know a coin comes up later in the episode and has some significance.
Yes.
But there's also the whole thing about two sides of one coin. And you think about it right now, there's this whole duality of Dougie and Cooper, the whole evil Cooper, good Cooper, them both existing at the same time, but on different sides of reality. You think back to like Stranger Things and Upside Down. You could say that one in the top is in the real world, one is in the lodge.
Yeah.
There's a whole different bevy of ways you can interpret that.
Yeah.
And I'm spinning a lot of bull crap, but
well, you are, but that's okay.
Interpret it as you will.
They're at something. They're going up to something with the coins. There's obviously coin things in this episode. So he tosses up the air, coin whirring, and it just sort of hovers and just keeps floating.
It hangs in the air.
So
which is a bit unusual.
There it is. Yeah, that's not something that's supposed to happen. So are we implying that this guy's magical, or connected to some greater powers, or is the coin some sort of?
I got the impression that he's a bit of a magic man. Okay.
Maybe. Well, he does have magical taste in jackets. That is a sexy looking, cool coat. And he just is like, whoa. All of a sudden, click, click, what? What's something in my mouth? And he pulls a coin out of his mouth. Huh? How'd that get there?
Yeah, and I would consider that quite a violation of personal space.
Yes, literally, it's inside his body.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like establishing dominance in a way.
Yeah,
it's like I can put something in you without you even knowing it.
Yeah, like a magician does that, and then you puke up a frog. You're like, whoa, what? You're pretty good. And then then the coin lands. So now there's two. Well,
the coin is gone from his mouth and his hand, and now he's got it back.
He looks up. We don't see where the coin is, and then he catches it, and then he does he slap his hand? I don't know. I'm getting it confused. But he slaps his hand like that. What you do with the coin? And he shows it to him. I think it was a heads.
And he said, "Hey, heads I win, tails you lose." Yeah, and then, that's a lose-lose.
And then he looks at his hand, and the coin's gone from his hand. So there was only one coin, I think, right? But it's heads, and he loses. Tails you lose, heads I win. So he
even says something like, "This is me, this is you." I think he points to the head and says, "Heads is him, tails is you."
Something like that. Yeah. Sorry if I got all that a little confused there, guys. At least I did not sleep during this one. I had to watch this show twice, so I wouldn't sleep. No.
You got to watch this.
I was privileged enough to be able to enjoy such brilliant art twice.
How dare you?
This kid. So he's getting angry.
That's how I feel when you say something like that.
Yeah. How dare you, Hank? Which should be kid. I'm a child. I'm never gonna. It's really getting pretty pathetic. When I have more gray chest hairs than I have dollars in my bank account, it's outrageous. I keep saying outrageous tonight, James. That's my word. So trains.
Okay. Fat Trout Trailer Park.
Yep.
This is a location that was first established, as far as I'm aware, in Fire Walk with Me.
All right.
This is a trailer park that is where the grandmother and her son from the ethereal lodge lived.
Okay.
It's where the trailer disappeared, the ring disappeared, the owl ring that was underneath it, where the FBI agent disappeared. I think the name was like Chalfont, Mr. and Mrs. Chalfont. I'm probably pronouncing it and getting it completely wrong, but...
This is the sound of me shrugging.
They're very important. But this is the guy. This is Carl Rod, I think his name is.
Old C. Rod.
Yeah, and I think he runs the trailer park.
Or K. Rod, depending. So he's like the boss of the trailer, or he's like the landlord, or not even a landlord, but just like the manager of the trailer park kind of.
Yeah, and I think he even has like a sort of a backstory that's similar to the Log Lady in the sense that he also has some sort of raised imprint on the back of his knee or on some part of his body, which means he's at some point been touched by the magic of Twin Peaks and with the lodge, that he's been chosen in some way.
Okay. So this guy comes in, he wants to go to the store or or to the town. He's pretty ordinary. They get in the car. They have a little thing. It's like he says, like, I'm lucky to be alive. He's like, I'm just waiting to die, essentially, right? And the guy says, "Oh, come on, man! You got plenty of tread on that tire. Don't say that, Carl. You got a lot of tread on it." He goes, "How's your mom doing? She's doing a lot better. What she got?" So then they have a conversation about it took him 6 months to get this electric wheelchair from the government. He's the government, fucking government. Everybody hates the government till they need the government.
Yeah,
why don't we just make a smart government? Yeah, we'll all be better off if we have intelligent government.
Quit smoking. I've been smoking a pack every single day for 75 years. It's all about genetics.
Yes, that's right. This is 75 years. How old is this guy? 76? He started smoking when he was 1. So they have a little laugh about it. It's fine. It was kind of, this dude did quit. This guy said he said yes, and then he goes, "Oh no, I quit." And this guy just keeps puffing away, blowing smoke in his face. That's rude. Maybe the guy likes this odor of cigarettes because he's been around. He's used to smoke. I mean, it's a very difficult thing for people to quit. It's a crazy. You know how many people it kills every year? Hundreds of thousands.
No.
6 million people died in 2015 from cigarettes, globally. That's crazy. Why is that shit illegal at all? Think about it. Having an addictive substance in the product.
You're talking to a guy who's holding a beer in his hand.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that are addictive. Behaviors are addictive. Substances can be addictive. All kinds of shit. Video games can be, whatever. I don't believe in regulating behavior, but like I do think there's like the product only serves to suck money out of somebody once they start until they die. It's designed to kill you in about 40 or 50 years. It's crazy, man, that shit's legal. Used as directed, it will kill you. Lawn darts are illegal. All right, let's keep going. Bring back lawn darts. That's not my case.
So R&R Cafe. This is the diner that is owned by Norma. It's where Shelley works.
Yep. It's also, that stands for R Cafe.
Yes.
So this lady's got a funny giggle. We hear this funny noise.
And I think that was in the original series as well, kind of showing that she hasn't lost it.
It was great. It gave me a nice little warm feeling. She's telling it about how I thought I saw this thing. It had my name on the pie.
Yeah, I think they can probably write your name on it.
Yeah.
I don't think, it's like, they have my name everywhere I go.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, maybe her name is Open.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's in neon wherever I go.
I see my name Stop. It's everywhere. Every street
Except
corner.
after 5 o'clock.
Good thing my last name is closed. Giggles. She had just a real funny giggle, though. I thought it was like, if you were in the woods walking around and it's starting to get dark and you heard that giggle, you'd probably
that is probably more terrifying than the classic
just a like a sweaty alcoholic clown giggle.
Yep.
Mother.
Yes.
All right, one decaf for me and one regular. Shorts to go thing. Keep the change. This tip is for y'all. And I'm going to be a male pig here for a second, but this woman's gorgeous, and she's way too hot to be a waitress. This right here.
How would you make you feel if you knew that in the original 2 seasons, she was a victim held captive by an abusive boyfriend/husband? I can't remember if they were married, but it was Leo.
Make me wish I'd come across her Tinder account so I can swipe the direction that's yes on her, and she does the same to me, and then we have beautiful bald children, and it goes
Well, she already had Becky.
Oh, Becky. Okay, fine. Well, my point is, small town. This is an actress who's hot playing a person who is not. She's just. All right, fine. Is this a wedding ring? Is it like a husband's wedding ring or something there?
I doubt that she would have anything to remember Leo by.
Oh, that's okay. What about
Leo
the
was
earrings?
not a good guy.
No, did he have giant fingers and she wears his wedding rings on her ear?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. That's nothing to do with the show at all. I'm just, okay, I've made my point. There's no point. I'm just being a stupid asshole. Okay, so then crazy angry guy, he's all a little worked up.
Richard Horn.
Fucking, Dick Horn.
So he's taking out his childhood angst and anger by speeding even faster in his little car.
And he's a little coked up too, so that can help. Helps you get to where you're trying to go a little quicker. This guy's just sitting around looking up at trees.
It's like he's communing with nature almost. He's like doing that classic Lynch thing where he's staring upwards, just looking up at nothing in particular.
Yeah, that's how I sleep. But this little kid come by and with a lady, and they play this game where he runs and he stops and he waits, and then she catches up to him, and then they laugh, and then he runs. It's a nice little game.
It's a little weird, but
sure. It's a strangely repetitive game that probably gets boring after about 4 times. But you know what? I've had fun with kids. I've chased them around the park till their moms yell at me.
Yep.
Called police.
Until the police tackle you.
No. I always run away before the police show up. All right. No. I've got nephews. They're rowdy, crazy monsters, and they like to. They would more run and just murder themselves by smashing their brains against some tree or something. You ever see kids? How are they alive?
Yep.
They're so violent. I don't even mean like violent. I mean accidentally. Like they're just constantly about to die.
Yep.
I don't know how people do it.
That's why they have Wolverine healing skills when they're young.
Yeah, they are pretty durable. They can survive a little knock from Uncle Hank.
Oh my good lord.
Sit down! I'm trying to sleep. Trying to watch the football game. I don't give a fuck.
My peaks are on.
Wake me up when my pig testicles are done pickling. No, my nephews and I made a movie with them.
That sounds terrible.
I made a short film.
That sounds even worse.
It's great. I'll put a link in the description. Link in the description for the movie I made with my nephews. You guys will like it.
Will they be arrested for having it?
No, it's on YouTube, man. It's Twitter.
Okay.
Why did I say Twitter? No, it's a horror film. We made it with an iPhone, and we just took an
horror for them.
Yes.
Okay.
It's called Brothers. It got picked up by a movie or a company that was hoping it would go viral. So it has that specific video has a management company. It never went viral, unfortunately, because they placed it on like AOL and MSN and stuff like that. I'll put a link in the description. All right, enough about that, James. Tires squeal, and he's racing ahead. He sees his cars. There's like a little backup here. I mean, it's a small town. This is about as bad a traffic jam as you could expect.
No, this is like Main Street going into downtown, and where I'm from in a very small area in rural Virginia is exactly like this. You go up stretches of nothing until you get to a little like
cluster.
Yeah, a little cluster of an intersection where everything is. Yeah.
Brick buildings.
Yes, actually there are brick buildings. They are brick buildings.
Believe me, I've been to lots of small towns. There's also wood buildings. Sometimes there's even metal buildings.
Imagine that.
Who knew? Do you have a stoplight in your small town?
One stoplight, and it is at that very intersection I just described.
Oh, congratulations! That must have been exciting when they wheeled it in from the big city bill. You guys all shit in the same hole? You fucking hicks.
And the guy's got to climb up in the ladder and replace the green cardboard with the red cardboard to make people stop.
It's a manual, like like Wrigley Field. Like a guy's got.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay, so then the game comes, and we kind of see something.
The game comes.
The game that they're playing. The game.
Oh,
the
yes.
mom and son. I assume she's his mom. It's probably a safe bet. Either that or she's like his kidnapper.
Yeah.
But we see a situation developing here that's not looking real good. A big truck is at the front. This guy here, he kind of gives her the wave ahead.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, go ahead, it's fine. I won't go.
No problems, I gotcha." Which, you know, you do that, and she's like, "Oh, okay, thank you, sir." She's like, "All right, Billy, go ahead and run. Let's play our game here."
Yeah, be my human shield.
Yep, he runs up, and the coked out freak guy is driving real fast, and he is in traffic, and we do have shots, but James wanted to point something out first.
Yeah.
Right.
So in Fire Walk With Me, we've seen the same intersection before. This is an intersection where Leland and Laura Palmer are in the car, and they get pulled up next to by Mike, who's screaming at them, trying to warn Laura that her father is Bob.
Okay, so Bob, then we're going to show the old Fire Walk With Me shot here.
Yeah. So you can see if you kind of go back and forth, you'll be able to see.
All right. So pay attention to this building here.
Well, that building's new. It's been added on to. So it's
not. It's right there.
well, it's been added on to.
It's a little different.
It's got if you look at the back of it, it's got another story onto it.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this corner here and seeing this, but this is inset, and this one.
Yeah, I mean that's got a door.
But more accurately though is
the white doorway there.
Right here, this building here with this roof line, and then that's that one right there. In the white door, and there you do see the same in the other shots that we had of the fire hydrant. So it is definitely the same intersection.
Yeah. So just kind of retreading old ground. Not really anything significant to that, but I thought it was kind of cool.
Yes, right. So yeah, this is from Fire Walk With Me. Now, okay, the kid, that's the shot, and oh no,
that's a pretty horrific screenshot right there.
A horrible screenshot. Bam! It's gone. That's really bad. They showed the kid getting hit though. Man.
They did.
Like, that's crazy. I was tapping it pretty hard because I knew that was coming. And no, oh God, my baby! I spent years raising him. And of course, guys see, oh shit, kid's all fucked up. He's got jelly on his head. Yeah, he's dead. He's an old goner. What we like to call a dead person.
Yeah. So in the literal sense, I think this scene is going to lead to the police pursuing this Richard Horn character.
Yeah.
But in the figurative sense, I think that there's something else going on here. It's something specifically that Carl sees when he's looking on.
Okay, well, we're about to get to that. So this is a sad moment, though. We got this music playing. This guy's like worked up about it because he just ran over a kid.
Yeah, I mean, he's a monster, but he didn't want to kill that kid.
I ran over a rabbit once, and it was, I looked in my rearview mirror, and it was like moving back and forth like 3 feet. It was going to...
So when you backed up over it, did it stop?
No, I didn't do that. I wanted to though, because I don't want it to be alive. I mean, once I've run it over the first time. So I chased it into its den, and I firebombed its entire family.
Yep.
No, but I just remember the sunlight was hitting the tufts of hair that were like hovering above it because it wasn't windy, and so there's just like hair glowing in the sunlight as this animal skittered back and forth underneath it in its final moments as its body was panicking with adrenaline and whatever else goes on at the moment of your death.
If you ever like bump into someone in the grocery store, do you just like say, now I gotta finish you off?
Yep. I turn around and I come back and I go, I gotta do this. And one time I beat up a muskrat that had gone rabid and I smashed its head with a shovel. That's one of my favorite stories. All right, so, oh my God.
So that's the woman from the Double R Diner.
Yep, she's got the two. This is a decaf for her. And
so she's going to be a witness. She sees him. She knows what he did.
He looks right at her as he drives by.
Maybe he's going to recognize her and kind of take care of her because she's a witness.
Yep. And then we got generic NPCs.
Yep, especially the guy with the egg on his shoulders.
Who has egg on his shoulders? This guy? What do you mean egg?
The egg on his shoulders.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy looks like me. I thought you meant egg. I was looking for like mushy white.
I was referring
crap.
to his head.
Yeah, you meant his head was an egg. I thought I thought you meant like a scrambled egg was on someone's shoulder. I was like, what? This? Okay. Yeah, James, he's bald, and his head is not as good looking as mine. I have a beautiful skull.
No, he's got a very well-shaped head.
Mine's better.
His is
Mine's
nice.
better.
I like how the one behind him looks when you yell. Go back.
Here, mine's better. Her? No, his is pointy. Mine is nice and hard and flat. My mom had a giant cervix. It was unaffected when I was born. I got lucky. Well, I wouldn't say lucky, but something went right. Okay? All right?
Okay.
I got a beautiful skull.
Alrighty. So Carl witnesses something pretty horrific.
Women like to rub my head because the hair
That's-
feels funny.
That's
It
nice.
feels nice. It's like really soft hair. I mean, I still have hair on the sides. Yeah, and a little bit. Okay, I'm not bald. I'm not bald at all. You people are all making it up. All right, woman wailing, and oh, good. So everybody's just upset. I mean, it's a horrible thing to see. Nobody wants to see this shit. Kid's dead, but he's also a good actor. Look at the way he's got his arm hanging there.
Yep.
It's pretty good. It's funny, like in the moment, this shot here. So at some point, the kid stops pretending to be dead and then like eats a sandwich or something. Like, when do they wipe him off first?
Well, the thing is, everyone's kind of standing around in awe. They don't really know how to approach
Yeah,
this.
they're stunned.
And we know from Fire Walk With Me that this Carl character is this guy who just wants to be left alone.
Is that this guy here?
Yeah, he doesn't want to deal with people. He doesn't want to interact with people. He wants to just kind of stay where he is and live how he lives and be completely isolated.
Right.
So it's kind of weird to me to see the same character who had that past behavior kind of approach these two people with compassion.
Well, something happens before he approaches.
Right, he sees something.
He sees something, which we see right here. There's this little yellow blip, the little color thing there. And
so there's two interpretations
flames.
of that.
Okay, he sees it go up.
One of which could be the obvious one. It's the child's soul escaping his body, transcending upwards into the heavens.
Yeah, and it fades off into the heavens.
Other could be it's a physical representation of the Garmonbosia. It's yellow in color. It's representing of sorrow and, you know, sadness and pain, which obviously his mother has quite a bit of that building up right now.
Sure.
And that could possibly be her releasing the Garmonbosia, because the last time we saw this intersection, it was basically Mike talking, and Mike was hunting down Bob because Bob had taken all his Garmonbosia.
Okay. So you're suggesting it might be her Garmonbosia?
I'm suggesting it's her ethereal cream corn escaping into the sky. Yes.
Ethereal cream corn.
But it's more than likely the child's spirit or something,
So
because this is Twin Peaks. Weird stuff happens in Twin Peaks.
I don't think the power lines are an accident. Is there in some way relating the electricity thing? Like it almost like it passed through the power lines and it touched it.
It's very possible.
Sent off on its way or something.
That's a really good catch.
Because it's easy to find a patch of sky without power lines in a shot.
No, I agree. That's a good observation.
I don't know what that means, but it gives this guy a sense of God. He goes, God, oh my God. Yeah. He's like, oh shit, because his life has been pretty meaningless for a long time. I almost said his meaning has been lifeless. That's that's my life. But and he walks over. You're right, and he's not normally, like you said, the guy that would approach somebody, but he comes up and he kind of just gives her the old stare in the face, and she's everybody's just upset. Oh my God, just pretend to act, everybody. Oh, don't look, honey. And this guy's like, I gotta sniff my girlfriend's hair, or no, wife. He's got, unless he's cheating on her, but it's probably his wife. And,
it's Chelsea Clinton's stunt double.
I guess. What?
I don't know.
It's close enough. Yeah, it's Chelsea Clinton's stunt double. She smells like Chelsea Clinton's hair. But anyway, the folks are just upset. They're all a little worked up, and then this is the face that she gets to stare at as her son dies. What a thrill! Then we cut to this shot here, which we're going to see that the camera will tilt up.
Yeah.
So, but James pointed out that this is similar to Fire Walk With Me.
Right.
Not just
when
similar.
we're at the Fat Trout Trailer Park, we see something similar to this.
Well,
not similar, exactly the same.
This is from that.
Yes, that's from Fire Walk With Me. And we also get a shot of the electrical lines and the power capacitors and whatever you want to call them. The transformers is what I'm trying to say.
At the top of the pole.
Yeah, but we didn't get a comparison shot for that.
But what seems more important is the numbers.
Yeah, probably.
Because they're identical.
Well, both the numbers and the concept...
Side-by-side shot.
And the concept of electricity is perhaps more important.
Yeah.
But this kind of establishes that we're in the same area. They're not reusing the same shots, but capturing the same shots for, the spirit of Fire Walk With Me.
Okay, so that's any other interpretation than that? Just spirit of Fire Walk With Me? Or
I'm
not trying to
I don't quite know what the numbers mean per se, but it's definitely a callback to that.
Oh yeah, no kidding. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's a different pole. Definitely a different pole, for sure. We know that. Same number. Okay, and then this is back to the episode we just watched. Mm-hmm. Camera tilts up, and we see the transformers and shit at the top, the wires and everything else, and back to Vegas, our old favorite, good old hometown.
Okay.
This man is playing...
This is the man that I was referencing prior, who was talking about the hiring of Lorraine and telling his assistant, pray that you never have to have a man like him in your life.
Right.
He's the guy that we can assume at this point hired Lorraine, and we can assume has a direct connection to Philip Jeffries.
Yeah.
So Philip Jeffries doesn't like to be the kind of guy who deals directly with his hitman. He goes through a middleman.
And this is him.
Yes, he is the middleman.
I just want to point out that David Lynch really went nuts here. He funded a ThinkPad, a Lenovo.
Which we use Lenovo ThinkPads at our workplace.
You still do?
What do you mean still do? They make new ones.
Ugh, come on. Get a Mac.
They suck.
Get an Asus.
Yeah, they suck, but they get the job done.
Asus H Christ, James. No, they're all right. I just think Lenovo is one of those funny things. It's like I think it'd be funny to brag about that.
No, you
like,
never.
Hey, any babes want to come over and hang out with me and my Lenovo?
Yeah, you're never gonna hear someone brag about. You gotta come see my gaming rig. It's a Lenovo.
Yeah,
yeah. It's purely like a commercial workplace. They call them think centers.
4 gigabytes of RAM. 4. It's awesome.
Mine has 8.
Come check it out. Let's take this thing for a spin. It can play Frogger at double speed. Yeah. It's amazing.
Mine's got a 128 meg video card.
Whoa!
Onboard graphics.
How many KBs can it load, man?
Yeah.
Cool, bro. Okay, so he's got a little. I just like it's not a fucking Mac.
Did you miss
every computer and everything is a Mac?
Please tell me you didn't miss the screenshot of his actual screen.
It turns red.
Yes.
We missed it. Sorry. So we look at his screen and
like a red square, which kind of could mean like the curtains, the red room, the waiting room, the lodge, kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
It could mean any of that. It could even mean like Dougie,
but it was
the
no
red
text.
door.
It was just a red square.
No, it was just a red square that just faded in and faded out.
And then he goes over here and he punches up a thing and he hits it, and it's like a protected printer or something, right? Because a sheet of paper gets spat out, and then he uses. Look, he's very careful not to touch it because it's evidence of something bad, obviously. Otherwise, you wouldn't mind touching it. And it's got a dot. Right?
Yep. And this is how he gets his instructions from Philip Jeffries.
Okay. So there you go. And then cut to...
Rancho Rosa.
Whoa, James. Geez, sounds like there's a Spaniard in here.
Yes. That was pretty dead on.
And coroner's coming up. Of course, the coroner. And we've got a destroyed car. Yep. They are loading it up. The cops are walking around. Now, this is an important shot here because James was referring earlier to the drawing in the ladder. And this is what you're saying is the ladder.
And you can see what you thought were steps are really just the roof going to the right. Yep.
Like this Spanish tile roof.
And then the line coming down and leading to the messed up exploded car.
I mean, that's a way better a theory than I can come up with, so I'm going to say yes to it. But a little part of me is just like, but you're sure about that? What's your confidence level? 99%?
It's a lot higher than I was with the David Bowie statue.
Okay, so I think it's pretty good. I would bet on it. Because based on what we know, it's not bad.
Because I think the license plate here is going to be the catalyst that's going to lead the guys in Twin Peaks back to reconnecting with the true Cooper.
I mean, they bothered to do this whole shot and set it all up. So so he goes up there and he starts reading off. And this lady's, they're on her house.
Yes, they are.
They're across the street from where the car blew up. And this is like 119. She's just screaming. She's this is Jesse Pinkman's girlfriend from Breaking Bad right there. She's dead. You killed her, Mr. White.
Spoiler.
Whatever, people have seen it. That was not my best Jesse. I could do a better Jesse if I really were. Okay, boom, there he goes. And he starts reading off the different, like, Lincoln, Victor, Duncan, Trussell.
Yeah.
One of my favorite comedians. Trunk bed with motor, and then boom, car with a little slow shot of a thing, and it's all fucked up. Cut to
a hotel room.
This guy's playing with dice. And we don't know who he is. We haven't seen him before.
No, we don't know who he is, but we see that he receives a letter.
Yes, we find it out. But he's writing. He's like doing dice and then writing notes down. Like, what's he doing? Is he guessing? Is he playing a game of some kind? He's got some booze. He's got what looks to be an ice pick. Right? That was pretty intimidating.
I mean, this is what Vern Troyer did after Austin Powers.
Yes, this is kind of like if Vern Troyer spent all the money he had to become a bigger guy.
Now, when you first saw this, did you get the impression that this was a high table or that he was of short stature?
It took me a second to figure out he was a short stature guy.
Okay.
I didn't pick up on that immediately. It's not really even relevant to anything.
It's not.
But
I think
it's clearly a deliberate choice.
I think that was part of the reason that Michael J. Anderson kind of broke ties with David Lynch. That he said in one of his Facebook comments something like, he didn't see himself as a character. He saw himself as a creature, as a thing, as an oddity that David Lynch was exploiting purely for the sake of weirdness.
Yes. Yeah. And that's been, truth. I mean, listen to me speaking like I fucking know. But, like, for a lot of little people, they've been treated that way in Hollywood as just like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That whole scene with they're the entertainers. They're they're kind of the misfit, what's the right word?
Minstrels.
Minstrels. Yeah, they sort of do a minstrel kind of show or something like that. So, You know, because Game of Thrones is historically accurate. But that's the way they were like often treated. So I can see how there could be some rifts developing behind that. Not that I have any real opinion about if David Lynch did something wrong. But anyway, this thing shows up under the door. We see it right here. He slides in there.
And it's got that weird dot on it.
Yeah, same thing on it. Similarly located dot thing. And he takes it and he picks up. And it's this woman who I did not recognize. And
You didn't recognize her? That's Lorraine.
Oh, that's the lady? Oh.
Yeah, the woman who always has that like beatbox hip hop music playing when you see her.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, no, I didn't pick up on that. But anyway, there's Lorraine, and he kind of studies the photos and then stabs him. And then I tried to get the screenshot of his arm moving, but he stabs that guy.
Now, what is that utensil that he has?
That's an ice pick, I think.
I think it could either be an ice pick or an awl.
Oh, an awl.
And what do you know about an awl?
They are like ice picks.
It's a multi-purpose tool, but one thing it can be used for is to punch holes in leather.
Yes.
And when you punch holes in leather, might you be making shoes? The shoes come back.
And when you stab a human, you're punching holes in leather.
Yes, if you tan that skin first.
Well,
we don't know what he's going to do with
We're covered in
it.
leather.
Yeah.
I'd put on Twitter, we're covered in soggy leather. That's the quality of my tweets.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. We're covered in leather. It's gross. Durable,
it's not,
durable fabric.
It's not leather yet. You have to go through the tanning process to make it leather.
It's skin.
When you bake out in the sun, you're converting your skin into leather.
James, you just ruined everything I've ever believed in. Thanks for messing it up. All right, fine. I still think it's gross that we're covered in porous, soggy skin. It's actually fun to touch. You ever have a girl blow on your ear?
No.
Yeah. Well, you ought to try it. Can I blow on your ear?
No. All right,
James covered his beard. All right, so
this is definitely the guy who
Yeah.
takes care of the hits for Philip Jeffries through the proxy of this middleman.
He had great aim on Dougie. Not
Yeah.
such good aim on her.
Yeah, so this woman, Lorraine,
Yep.
was worried for her life because she and Jean did not take out Dougie in the allotted time that she was hired to do it.
Right.
So she said, "Are you trying to get me killed?" And Jean said she's a warrior. So it turns out she had quite a good reason to be worried because Philip Jeffries, we assume is the guy who ordered this, is not pleased with her performance.
Correct.
So he has put her case into the hands of this man.
Of this man, who seems to be intimidating since he immediately starts stabbing them on a dresser.
Yes, stabbing the pictures on the dresser.
Right. So we've got some more empty cups. These are clearly not any liquid.
I knew you would go
Put
there.
some fucking water, because the way the guy comes off the elevator, no one carrying 8 cups of coffee. Well, he's got 7, but would be like that.
I would sit them down before I started turning back.
They don't have to use scalding coffee. Yeah. Just put some water in the cup so it looks more natural.
Yeah, but here we
the show is unrealistic.
But you know, Cooper is more informed. He's looking more like the FBI agent that we remember him to be. He's more confident. He's smiling. He's got his own. Well, it's not really Cooper's name, but he's got Dougie on his cup now. No longer says Frank. So he's kind of sort of fitting in now.
Even managed to put on a watch. I picture his wife putting it on, yelling at him. Fucking Dougie! I gotta pay the guys off. You fucking wearing a watch.
And he's kind of goofing around like in this whole childish thing where he's playing with the guy. He's like standing back and letting the doors close and open and close and open.
Yep, just having a great time. This is I picture like how this is what Mr. Rogers did for fun. Just like, oh wow, these elevators. I love that guy, by the way.
Yep.
Google it. And then the door closes on him. This real slapsticky comedy. He's just like, oh boy. And then he goes in, and we've got this office area. It's kind of an interesting little lobby place.
That is Bushnell's office.
Bushnell's office. This guy comes out, Dougie! That's him yelling that back there. Get over here, you fucking weirdo. I'm in my office now. Of course, Tom Sizemore picks up on what's going on. He's like, oh, okay, what's going on there? He just looks over. Little concerned. So then we have a whole sequence where the guy is going through all of his stuff. At first he seems pretty disappointed. He's like, what's up with all this?
These childish scribblings. How can I make sense of these?
Use David Lynch's favorite phrase, what the hell?
Yeah, and it's almost like, it's sort of like symbolic for analyzing a David Lynch work. You look at it, and on the surface, it looks like just random nonsense and childish scribblings and disconnected thoughts and ideas.
Well,
but when you try and piece it together and you really study it and you analyze it, you can sort of, in some cases, connect dots and make assumptions of it. Just start piecing it together.
Yeah.
And it's almost like that's what he's doing in this scene.
Very similar to what I described the show as several episodes ago. I said it's like watching a child draw.
You did say that.
I did. It turns out I was poignant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like to call myself the new David Lynch. Yes, indeed. Right. I agree with more of the first part. I don't think there's... I think that's what's nice about, like, shit that doesn't make sense. There's so much ways to interpret it.
Yeah.
But people seem to think there's only one way to interpret it.
No, there's quite a few.
There's obviously a lot. So he's looking up, and he starts mimics the boxing posture right there with the gloves up, or with the hands up at least. And it'd be funny if he started punching, but he's like spilling coffee all over the place. But slowly, though, battling Bud. It sounds like a guy who's got a weed addiction. I'm battling Bud.
Or a drinking problem.
Or a drinking problem. Or he's fighting a friend named Bud. Or he is an arborist who can't get trees to grow new leaves or flowers. All right, so more child scribbles.
So he's going through this, and he's seeing like very similar scribblings on each page. Each one, though, has lines that are connected, some things that are circled. So it's very obvious that these pinpricks of light that were leading Dougie had him circle and draw lines between certain things. Now, one of the things that he circled on one of these pieces of paper was Sinclair's name, highlighting the fact that Sinclair was connected to this particular case.
Right, here's the Anthony Sinclair one, yeah.
Yeah, so what he's really doing is, what the Lodge has really done is it's created a way for Cooper to show his boss that Sinclair, Tom Sizemore, was in fact lying. Right. And that he is in fact trying to get his firm to pay out on a claim that is bogus.
Yeah, I mean, he's not proving anything. He's just, he's just highlighting the guy's name in a way that makes this dude start to piece it together himself. He's
drawing certain parts of the forms to the attention of the guy so that he can piece it together himself.
Yeah, yeah.
But he, in a way, gives Dougie / Cooper credit for having cracked the case.
He's not like, oh, this one thing here looks like a flamingo having a bad day,
in
walking
reality,
up a bunch of stairs. Like he doesn't interpret the
Cooper was just painting by numbers, you know.
Yeah. But he was
the cat chasing the laser.
But it wasn't as random as we might have thought.
No, it was guided.
Shown by the little pinpricks of light. Pinpricks. Pinpricks. That'd be another name for pen pals. Pen pricks.
Yes.
James, will you be my pen prick?
No.
Prick my.
That sounds like
my prick.
That's like the Grinder pen pal moment.
Wait, Grinder has a pen pal?
It could. You can call it that.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Grinder's gay Tinder.
Yes.
For getting together and grinding.
Because the P word is also synonymous for something else.
Which P word? Pussy?
Oh my god.
Pussier?
When you prick your finger, that could also mean something else.
You can finger your prick, you can't
the king
prick
of profanity doesn't know that?
Yeah. Well, I'm not the king of profanity. George Carlin.
That's what I call you.
You're sleep talking. He's the king of profanity. Guy eats my chips when I ate your chips the other day, by the way.
Oh,
they're delicious.
That was my dinner.
I know. That's why I ate them. You need to lose weight.
Yeah.
All right, so
right.
James and I have this weird abusive relationship. We kind of do a little bit.
This is disturbing.
It's built on respect and love. For me,
mostly on a throne of chips.
Yeah, mostly on chips. And chip poop. Okay, think about, so he basically is like, good work here. You did great. You really do more of this. So
and Cooper does the same thing that he does when he's given the thumbs up by Sonny in the other room. In his initial room, he turns to mimic the direction and action of the handshake.
Yeah, which I like that move. I like that's a funny way to like kind of show the guy not understanding. Instead of just like staring at the hand, he just like turns around. I like that's good. That's fun. So back to a kid's park. I noticed this. This must be a soft, like one of those tire tread type of surfaces. It's sort of, because would you really do like concrete underneath a swing? Is
that's how it was when I was growing up?
Oh my god, you were raised by savages. We always had wood chips or sand or dirt. I guess you could still fuck yourself up on dirt. Yeah. Dirt's pretty hard, but this is sand. Should be the sand. Shouldn't the sand be underneath this part?
Life lessons.
Or shouldn't this camel?
The more you bleed, the more you learn.
Be right in front of the swing. Kids are durable. Anyway, so she's hanging out, waiting for some goons. Some goons show up, and I do recognize this guy on the right. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he looked familiar to me, but I couldn't place him.
Yeah, it's Elliot from E.T. I don't know, maybe. So she goes, what happened?
So she
says
takes ownership of the situation.
He took $20,000, and he owes us. It's been 3 weeks, and now the points are going up. He owes us $52,000, and I like that she just, like you said, just steamrolls these guys. She just goes, no, motherfuckers. He's got a child. He's got a wife. He doesn't have that much money. He can't. She goes, where I work, we're lucky with a bank. We're lucky to get 1% return on our loans. You're going to get 20. You'd be so grateful to get 25% on your loans. And so she goes, I'm going to pay you back. Now, That's what she says, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So this is my first and last. What's the world come to that you can treat people this way? You're feeling they're suffering, and she whips out this big fat stack, man. That is the biggest pile of. You think you'd use 2 at this point? Look at how much money that is. And she yells at him, and she jams him in his chest with it, and they're both like, "Oh,
she just brought like one of those giant Publishers Clearinghouse checks."
Yeah, huge. She's just bonking him with it. Starts sign spinning it.
Yeah.
Tough dame. Whoa. And like, so did this, okay, 2 questions for you, James. Would you have handled it that way? Because she has $450,000. Would you?
425,000.
25,000, thank you. But 425.
Now she only has 400.
Right. But
I did math.
Would you try to save 27,000 by not paying the 52, you only pay 25. So
no,
if you save 27 just to save 27, but it comes at the cost of having these guys still after you, or would you just have paid off the full 52?
I would have paid the full 52.
Yeah, when you had 400.
Yeah,
I agree. I think that probably makes more sense. But
I show that she's a stronger character than I am.
Yeah, same way, stronger than me too. Yeah, big time. And my other question was, I don't know, I forgot.
Yeah, and they're even kind of in awe of her too.
Yeah,
you know, tough dame.
Yeah, because they're not guys that are used to hearing the word no.
Yeah, they got less than half of what they came there for, and yet they're okay with it.
But do you think they'll have some boss they'll report back to and be like, "Our boss"?
I kind of hope that they're out of the scene now because it kind of gets.
Oh, that was my question.
That it gets this. Gone? Yeah, I hope so because we now know that they were kind of a red herring.
Seems like it. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. All right. So now we have the hip hop beats playing.
Yep, I am.
I never noticed.
I really like that tune though.
It's a good tune. So everybody imagine a good tune in your head right now. Well, we hear a lady scream and she stands up. She hears it. She's like, "What the?" And then this guy comes in. He is so like direct. He doesn't look around. He just keeps moving, and he goes straight in. And he sort of does a little shimmy left and right. And then she decides to go to her right. He immediately meets her and just doesn't hesitate and just awls her to death.
Yes. Stabs
her with the ice pick thing. Rawr, this is really violent and horrifying.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
Oh, look, she's got the thing that's like when they tag ducks.
Yep.
And stab, you're dead, blood on the
walls.
walls.
Not only does he stab, but he just like rotates it around inside her.
Yes, it's called squishy flesh noises. Flesh squishing right there. He's like spinning it around. That's horrible too. Ugh, those teeth. Jeez, my God. Man, jeez, buddy. I thought I had bad teeth. Mine look 20% better than that. That's not
he
true.
growls.
This lady goes, "Oh, good." And then he chases off. He goes and gets hurt.
One can assume that, and you can, if you go back one stop, you can tell that the ice pick or the awl, whichever one it is already bent. At
No. That's like a little threaded. It's.
Oh, he's holding it downward.
Yeah,
okay,
you're right.
The point.
Okay. That's like part.
That's
of
like the loop on it or something.
Yeah, like the Nintendo Wii.
Okay, got it.
So he's doing unsafe. He should have that around his wrist so he doesn't break the TV.
Yeah.
Or a lamp. Furniture clatter, so he chases her off. And do you think in this shot though he just like walked into this corner, like they didn't even open the door?
Yeah.
Just waited.
But now that he comes back, you can see it's bent.
Yes, he brings it back, and see that's what that was. This part. Here.
Okay.
But now it's bent. That's a pretty good bend, man. That's like
it doesn't look like it's bent that severely in the last shot. Like if you
go
go back, right
here?
there, like even there, it doesn't look like it's at that quite of an angle.
You can't see it. It's behind his hand.
Right, but if it was bent like that, wouldn't it be poking out from behind his
wrist?
Depends
on how he has it oriented. It might be up behind his arm. It's behind his arm.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, you just can't see it there.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. There it is. And but he's gonna have to go down to the ice pick shop and get another.
But I like that even after committing brutal double homicide, the only thing that gives him pause is, oh no.
Yeah.
This is horrible.
Like this is my grandpa's murder tool.
That's what he cared about.
So okay, big truck, kind of an empty area.
Richard Horton's car.
Richard Horton is.
He knows he's got to clean up some evidence. He's under power lines as usual.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
There they are. Wow, good catch. And he sees, he comes out and goes, "Fuck, oh man, this guy swears more than me." So he goes and grabs, it looks like booze. Oh no, it's a bottle of water. Why did I think it was booze? Just starts scrubbing it, because that doesn't look suspicious at all.
Well, he did kind of pull off into a nondescript area.
No, I'm saying like having clean,
who would ever know?
You gotta clean the whole thing now. Or replace the dirt with different dirt.
Yeah, but they can use luminol and stuff to tell that blood was there.
I know. Oh, you can tell? You can...
Yeah.
There's always...
It reacts with trace amounts of blood and glows.
Yeah. I assume there's always some... What word did you call?
Luminol.
Luminol. Oh, wow. James, somebody's been watching a lot of CSI New Orleans. Jumps in, and off he goes. And now Hawk is in his, this is his,
Okay.
it's a station.
And we're going to go on a little bit of a diatribe on this one.
All right, so I'll let you take over on that one.
All right, so before we really dig into the bathroom and what Hawk is doing in the bathroom...
In the Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department.
In the Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department, yes. There's something I wanted to call to attention, and that is a scene or a series of events that happens in the movie Fire Walk With Me.
Okay.
So let's walk with me.
All
There
right.
we go, from the movie. This is Sarah Palmer, and by Sarah Palmer, I mean Laura Palmer. Sarah is her mother.
Okay.
I get those names screwed up all the time.
Fair, fine.
This is Laura Palmer in her room after having retrieved her diary from behind the wardrobe behind her, which is her hiding spot.
Oh, right there. Okay.
And she's looking through her diary and noticing that there are pages missing that have been ripped out that she did not rip out.
Okay.
So she comes home early from school one day to try and see if someone, presumably Bob, is the one who is going into her secret hiding spot and ripping the pages out.
Right.
So she sneaks back into her house and...
But I want to make clear, this shot we're looking at with the torn page happened earlier.
Yes, these are not, these are not like consecutive.
Subsequent or consecutive.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
jumping around in
So
time
now the
here.
next one, we're jumping at.
Yes, we're jumping in. This is, like I said, this is where she's coming home from school afterwards
Quite a
trying
bit
to see.
later.
Yes.
Yeah, and she sees this.
And there he is. He's pushing the wardrobe back to get to
Yes.
the diary.
He's doing
and
something.
as we find out later, she sees Bob, but that's really Leland.
That's okay. All right. And then it's her screaming. Ah!
No, this is her at the dentist.
Yeah.
That's what her dentist sees every time he sees
That's
it.
her at the proctologist.
Yes.
Oh boy, I don't even have a prostate.
Okay.
All right, so there's that. Now.
And now there's another scene that's pretty important that features, also from Fire Walk With Me, but this is Annie, who was the sister of Norma, who was a love interest for Cooper in season 2 of Twin Peaks.
What should we look for in this shot?
We are looking for the dialogue between Annie and Laura. Laura doesn't say anything, but what Annie says is important.
All right, here we go. Hit and play. All right, so she's in her bed alone.
Mm-hmm.
But
And she's not alarmed by that at all.
she sees this.
That's Annie.
My name is Annie. I've been with Dale and Laura. The good Dale is in the lodge, and he can't leave. Write it in your diary.
She just goes back to being dead.
He's like, okay.
What? How does she not freak out?
Yeah. Okay. So,
All right.
so the
By the way,
thing
then they cut to the body not being there.
yeah, and that's
then
when she freaks
and
out.
then she freaks out because the body's gone.
She's like, where's my body?
Ah!
How was going to eat that? But anyway, David Lynch plays around with the concept of time a lot. Chronology is no obstacle for him.
Clearly.
So in this particular scene, we see Laura Palmer with Annie, but Annie hadn't even come to Twin Peaks yet. Annie comes long after Dale Cooper comes, and Dale Cooper only comes to Twin Peaks because of the death of Laura, but Laura's clearly alive here.
Okay.
So Annie is from the future, and Dale being in the lodge doesn't happen until the very end of season 2, which is long after Laura's already been killed. So she's coming from the future into the past to tell Laura to write something that hasn't happened yet in her diary. And we know that Bob has been ripping pages out of her diary.
Yeah.
And we know that Bob feeds in garmonbozia, which is pain and suffering.
On other people's karma.
Yes.
Okay.
And we know that Mike, who was an accomplice to Bob for a number of years, was owed garmonbozia by Bob and took all his garmonbozia from him in Fire Walk With Me.
Okay.
Which leads me to believe that if these pages were a source of garmonbozia, and Laura had in fact written what Annie told her to write in this journal, then perhaps Mike got a hold of those pages, and we saw Mike at some point in the series in this exact, I believe it's the exact stall that we're about to see Hawk approach. So
Okay.
we know that there are missing diary pages. We know the diary pages had a message from the future that relates to Agent Dale Cooper. It says he's in the lodge. It says that he's trapped there and can't get out. We know those pages were ripped out, presumably those pages, and were stolen because we know that they looked at her diary as part of the investigation in season 1, and they didn't see anything of that sort written there.
Okay.
So we know that these pages are AWOL. We know what they say. We know that Mike could possibly have gotten them, and we know that Mike was in this bathroom. So knowing all that, let's move forward.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. The pages. All right. So then we're in the bathroom with the Hawk. With Chief Hawk.
Yeah, yes.
Deputy Hawk.
Yes.
And
Tommy
he
Hawk.
drops a coin or something, and the
Yes.
coin rolls into the stall.
Which is...
Well, how do you know Mike was in this stall?
Because we've seen him in a prior episode, in season 1 or season 2, where he was in there. You may not have seen it, but he was there.
Did not see that. Okay, so he goes in, he reaches for it, and it's one of those Buffalo
head nickels.
Buffalo head nickels.
Which again is like, okay, he knows the riddle is you need to find something something is missing, first of all.
Yeah.
It relates to Agent Dale Cooper, and it also relates to your heritage.
And there's an Indian.
So there's your heritage right there.
If it's the same Indian tribe. I mean, it's one of the things white people do to Indians all the time.
I actually did...
Oh, yeah, you're all the same. Like, no, there's...
I thought I did look up something on Hawk, and I thought that he was from the Nez Perce tribe.
The Nez Perce.
Nez Perce. Nez is French for nose. So and I think that it was like the French Canadians or whatever gave them like a derogatory name because of the size or something like that.
Well, it's right here. So he sees it. Yeah.
The Nez Perce.
Nez Perce.
Yeah.
Nez Perce.
No.
It's Nez Perce. In America, because I remember in a movie I heard it, and they called it Nez Perce.
Yeah, so what I really like about this, though...
But I'm not disagreeing.
Think about the riddle that he was given, though.
I like that he's smiling. He's going, yeah.
But think of the riddle. The riddle started off with, it has... something is missing, was the first piece.
Yeah.
The second piece was, it relates to Dale Cooper. And the third piece was, it has to do with your heritage. Mm-hmm. But here, just like David Lynch always does, it's working backwards. It starts with his heritage.
Oh, keep going?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And then it relates to something being missing, which was the first piece.
Yeah.
And that stud is missing.
The stud's missing?
Yeah. So it
What do you mean I'm not missing?
Yeah, so it kind of goes almost in reverse, but not in a perfect reverse.
Sure.
And then he starts realizing that he can pull back the metallic covering of the door.
Yeah, there's something... Okay. Right. So that, he starts to kind of tear apart the door. He goes and gets a crowbar, and he got a flashlight, and he starts to just hack. And then this guy comes in.
Yeah, the piece of crap Chad, who was taking bribes from Richard Horne in the bar, because he's allegedly connected to the running of drugs through Twin Peaks.
The drug stuff there. And so, but Chad's just like, what the fuck, man? You got permission to do this? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go tell the chief. Okay, you do that, Chad, whatever. So as he's digging in, and he goes down and deeper, and he pulls out pages.
Okay, and the pages... seem to, I mean, it's from the same size book as her diary. I don't really see ripped edges on it, but
yeah, that's kind of ripped right there.
Kind of ripped right there.
There's some straight. It's
almost
hard to tell.
It's almost like they're aged or yellowed with age, which would happen over 25 years.
Supposed to be in a yellow door.
Yeah, and I think that someone zoomed in on it, and they said something like, it said, "I go over it in my mind over and over. Oh, Annie."
Oh, Annie. All right.
And I don't know if it's the same handwriting as Laura Palmer, but my take on it is that these must be the missing diary pages of Laura Palmer that's going to complete the riddle, that is going to lead you to Agent Dale Cooper, because it should say Agent Cooper is in the lodge.
Well,
because technically he's
but still... But it's not anymore.
I mean, his shoes are there.
His shoes are in that weird room that he wound up in, where he
Which
climbed...
is the lodge.
Oh, that's the lodge?
Yeah.
I had no idea that was the lodge. All right. With the fireplace and the woman?
Yeah, that's all in the lodge. The lodge is a very big place.
Big? Oh, okay. Right,
Where else would he have been?
Wow, what do you mean? We're just making shit up. Could be anywhere. Fuck do I know?
Clearly it's the lodge. Floating
in space in that metal box. The woman falls off. That's the entirety of the lodge, is that one box?
No, the lodge is vast and expansive. The lodge is infinite.
Okay, the lodge includes that place,
yeah.
Not just that. Okay, that's all I was looking for. I just wanted some clarity on that one. I think it is the diary pages. What else could it be? I mean, obviously it could be something, but...
It could be the Norma secret cherry pie recipe.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be the secret recipe to decaf coffee.
Yeah.
You related it to the diary pages really well. Thanks for making us get those screenshots and stuff. And I think you're right. I'm gonna bet on this one.
But it's kind of messed up though, because they gave us these hints in advance as almost as like a challenge, like try and figure it out.
Could be.
Who in the world would ever have connected, oh, the heritage is going to be a buffalo head nickel and a little plate on the bottom of a bathroom door. The thing that's missing is a stud on the bathroom door. We would have never figured that out.
We wouldn't have, no.
Nobody would have.
He did in this moment.
Well, no, Hawk figured it out, but any fan watching trying to speculate did not have the information needed to piece that together.
Yeah, we the fans didn't know they had a Nez Perce thing. I like this. For some reason I can tell it irritates James a little bit. Yes. Nez Percy, James, come on, grow up.
It's almost like when people say Notre Dame.
What are you?
It's freaking Notre Dame.
What are you, Alex Trebek?
Yes, what is?
Obnoxious. Alex Trebek. Yes, we're referring to Barcelona. No, Alex, it's Barcelona. Say it like a fucking American. I'm not even nationalistic at all. I think it's disgusting. But no, Alex Trebek is annoying, and you are just like him.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, je vous en prie. That's French for you're welcome. All right. Well, surprise.
I took 6 years of French. I know that.
5.5 years of French, bitch. And there was a girl from Europe in one of my college French classes, and her name was Sana, and she was tall and she had short hair, but she was fucking, oh my god, yeah.
Did you ever like walk up and go, "It's getting hot in here"?
No, I knew her. I mean, we would walk a little bit, and I'd be like, man, I wish she had horrible taste in men. That would be awesome. She doesn't. She's okay.
And there she is today.
Speaking, yeah, that's her. She's returned. Hank. No, this is she's mad. It's not fixed.
This is again. This is Doris. This is Frank Truman's wife.
Doris Truman. And she's yelling at him about her dad's car. He went to drive. It was just lurched and lurched. And they're like, oh, geez, this guy's got this one. And, you know, he goes, okay, come on, we'll take you. We'll get work on it. He's very calm. He doesn't seem to stress about it. Why are you always against me, Frank? Which I, you know, like, let's go to my office. And this guy's, I wasn't taking a shit from her. But then the dispatch lady.
We get a little bit of exposition about Frank's past.
She says, you know, man, there's more going on here. And this is what I always say. You don't even know what battles people are fighting, Jim. I never really said that before. But you didn't know their son committed suicide? That's a good excuse to be a little off your rocker for a while.
And Chad doesn't give a crap.
I haven't even committed suicide yet, James, and I'm still fucking angry and screaming all the time.
But you're committed to it.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
My plan is, if I don't have enough retirement money, I think I will around age 59.
That's terrible.
Well, that's not my plan. I hope to have the money. But if I'm as poor as I am now when I'm in my, like, 60s, meaning, like, just barely struggling to get by.
There is more to life than money. Money's a part of life, for sure.
No, it's not just about money. It's about stress. I don't want to be in my 70s and poor and being like, I hope I get a wheelchair. Because we live in a terrible country that doesn't take care of its old
only
people.
getting better.
It could be better by the time I'm in my 70s. It's getting worse right now.
It'll be a smoking crater.
It could get better. We don't have to do it the stupid way. There are good ways to operate societies, like Sweden, for instance. Anyway, so then this guy turns into such a douche.
Why did someone not sucker punch him for that?
He couldn't take being a soldier. It was the worst. It's the meanest thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do that. That's
mocking
terrible.
Suicide is...
There are
a few things worse.
This woman is beautiful. Look at her. Gorgeous. I know I compliment men too. This guy, not gorgeous. Looks like my chode. Sheriff's Department, what's your emergency? So then she just gets on a call, and that's her talking, and these guys, okay, back to the bar. Anything else to say about this scene before we move on?
No, not really. I mean, I don't quite know who he is in terms of his character's name.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or that he's a deputy. Maybe I'm missing something. Someone did mention, though, in the comments that I think one of the people on the stage in the previous episode was actually David Lynch's son performing.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if they meant it was a person on the stage or if it was a person in the audience or something, but I'm going to go back and reread that so I can figure out who they're talking about.
Must be nice being born into a Lynch family.
Yeah.
Easy to get booked for shows. Okay, so then we're at the bar again with our favorite moment. I always love these because this means that mercy is about to arrive. This is when you can feel the wind of the guillotine.
You need to learn to love the show.
Yes, the end. Yes, and it confirmed that it was indeed Laura Dern. We knew that, but I wasn't positive. So when I saw it, I was like, yeah, Laura Dern. Yep. Oh, Josh Fadem's in this?
No, hasn't Laura Dern been in like other Lynch projects? I think he and her have worked together.
Yeah, I don't. Did he make Jurassic Park? That's the only thing I know she's done. Doesn't she play Robin Wright in House of Cards?
Are you messing with me, or is this something I just have not known my entire life?
What?
That you're saying Laura Dern was in Jurassic Park?
Yes. Okay, James is gonna iPad this. Let's Google it real quick. This is not what the show's about at all, but we got to do this. Here we go. I'll make some music.
Okay, I got this. 1 second.
Oh, fuck my rhythm. I have horrible rhythm. I'm white. I used to play guitar, James. Did you know that? I know at least...
Yeah, there she is.
That's Helen Hunt and Twister, bitch.
Same thing.
How dare you?
Same thing.
James gets tornadoes and dinosaurs confused.
They both kill.
Yes. Both of them like to murder men on toilets.
Yes.
All right, so there you go. We did it. We did the episode. We got to the end. James, anything else to say?
No.
Share a lot of insights. Did you enjoy it?
I always enjoy these.
Great. I enjoyed it too. I will say this. I don't hate the show. And yes, understanding is difficult, but it's more the presentational stuff. You know what really turned me on was the Michael Cera scene. It's
Really?
so fucking indulgent.
It was hilarious.
And weird. It's just, it was all just nonsense. Just complete bullshit nonsense. But my point is, my issue with the show is more about the presentation than the information. Like, I think there's a fine enough story. Who killed? There's murder. By the way, they've been murdering a lot of people this season. It sounds like, compared to the first two, which was just about one murder. Or did other people die along the way?
I mean, I think there were, there have been deaths along the way in season 1, season 2, and Firewalk.
Well, that makes me feel better. As long as people are dying along the way, then I feel better.
Not a whole lot, but it happens.
Yeah. All right. That's okay.
Like, one woman turned into a doorknob.
All right.
I'm not joking.
I believe you. Why wouldn't it? Yeah, of course. I'm sure the doorknob probably was embodied by a door knocker or some shit.
It was actually it was like a small knob on a dresser.
Yeah. Oh, like a dresser knob.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
She dies, just falls down dead, and suddenly her face is twisted in the wood.
You ever get your penis stuck in a mail slot? So what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. How did you like it? What are you thinking about it? I had more to say about the show here, but I don't know what to say. Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, this episode, in the last couple, I like that they're sticking to Dougie. I mean, they're showing some other stuff that doesn't seem totally, but like they're at least kind of showing the Cooper-Dougie recovery process with some sense of linear progression there.
Yeah.
So I like that about it. I'm very dumb. My brain is not... It works okay in some situations, but it's pretty much a nightmare show in there. I don't even know, it was a nightmare freak show. Yeah. Fuck face show. It's bad. There's trouble going on inside my head, James. It's not good. It's actually better than it has been. It's still terrible. Speaking of that, like and subscribe, everybody. Please. And I am going to do the Patreon video soon. If I get a fucking hour break, it's going to take me longer than an hour. But do consider Patreon. We're going to have a link very soon. We're the only idiots who are advertising without having it possible. God, we're stupid. And I mean, I don't mean to call you we, but you know. And that's all we got.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, everybody. James, you've been wonderful. Let's go find some power line. Let's go play a game. I'll chase you, and then you run ahead 20 feet, and then I'll come catch you, and I'll hug you and kiss your cheek, and then you can run again, and then we'll do it until you get run over by a maniac, by a coked out rageaholic crazy guy.
Then you can chase my
your soul,
my ethereal cream corn.
Yeah. Then I'll follow your creamed corn to heaven.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Good night. Goodbye, and I'll see you all later. Bye.